just got done watching Dear White People, and it occurred to me after making the snap that said I did not support interrelationships. I know MLK died, Dr. King died for us to unite, equality, all those great things, which it's true to have. But have you ever realized how many times we have to, as African Americans, tell the opposite race that we're not racist? What about them? Oh, because they have that one black friend. But maybe they're not culturally diverse as some other black people that we know. If we can't have a freedom of speech conversation about why black people and white people shouldn't be together sometimes, then I don't know. I know this. If I was to raise my son in this society, which I don't have any children and I don't plan on having to a long time, thank you. I would want my son to be with someone of his own nationality, not because I believe that Caucasian people are better than any other race. My auntie put and installed in me that black, white, orange, blue, you're just as good as the next person. And today I also got handed some great information from a friend of mine. She said that her daddy taught her the right side of the tracks. What the right side of the tracks is, as she explained, was the way you are raised and brought up. If you were brought up to be a good person, then that should be all that matters when you're in a relationship. Now, that's a beautiful thing to think about. But the reality is that's not going to happen all the time. I feel like it's hard for an African American woman, and I did say woman and not a person who's yelling all the time, to find a man who is of her same nationality and love her back genuinely. See, I think what's failed to be realized is Caucasian women are born with a privilege. One, their great ancestors supposedly built the society that we live in. Yes, my president is black, but that does not change racial preferences of America. That's true. It doesn't change that. I really want people to realize that it's not always black and white, but the majority, and we're not using that as a clutch by no means. We're just pointing out the obvious. And if you fail to realize that there is still white supremacy in the world, then you are not culturally ready to diverse yourself in culture. I learned that if I talk about my race and you feel uncomfortable, it's not because I'm racist. I can only be prejudiced. That's one thing that the whole lesson I got out of Dear White People was, you're not racist. You're taking preference over your own race, which is so, we talk about American culture every day, especially in college. And they tell you you have to go to college to get ahead in life. Isn't that right? Well, that's not always the circumstance, because I know pretty knowledgeable people who didn't go to college and are still successful. That being said, they didn't learn about Caucasian American history. And one thing that's been bugging me, and I always wanted to get it off my chest, is African Americans built the United States. Europeans, however, came over from Africa. Boop, boop, boop. They came to Africa, took the people with those ideas who changed civilization. You follow? I hope you're there. And because people weren't thinking about themselves, and they were thinking about community, like, if we invent the toilet, oh my gosh, everybody can potty. They weren't thinking about themselves and get rich schemes, whereas the European patented their stuff and they got rich, and the African Americans who came up with all these inventive ideas were left in where? Where were they left? Please end my sentence. They were left out high and dry, so we could stay the poor class. And that's another thing. Don't say the word poor, because why? You hear Caucasian students on campus, off campus, saying that they are first generational students. Now, don't get me wrong. I am what they consider a first generation student, but at the same time, that has nothing to do with your cultural status. Your cultural status. Why? Because Republican Party. Come on, let's put a little facts into that. Took over. Is anybody listening? They took over. No. Yes, Obama is a Democrat, but the Republican Party took over. They have been in effect for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I don't. And then